mentioned that the world also expects things from India. And this year itself, we've seen Prime Minister Modi actively get involved in communicating messages between President Putin and Zelensky on the Ukraine war, for instance. Where do you see this going? Do we have a role to play in facilitating peace?
Yes, I think we do. Look, when the war started, we took the position that, this was unfortunate, it was tragic, and we never really thought that the solution would come from the battlefield. Okay? We said it at some point of time. Not everybody took it well. We handled the challenges coming out of the conflict, obviously with our national interest in mind. Not everybody took that very well, but we had what we had. Now, the fact is, into its third year now, it's very clear, it's even clearer that you're not going to get a battlefield-based solution. Okay. Now, what are the choices? The choices is one is to stay on the sidelines and, say, well, it doesn't concern me. The other is to give broad homilies and leave it at that. A third one is to back one side or the other, which some countries are doing. And maybe a fourth one is to say, okay, let me apply myself to this tragic situation. Let me try to do something about it. Maybe it will work, maybe it will not, but why should I not at least, do my best? So how do you go about it? One, of course, to utilize the fact that there are today very few countries and very few prime ministers or presidents who have the ability to go to Moscow and go to Kyiv and call up Putin and call up Zelensky, and we should use that advantage. The second is then to apply yourself to the task. So what we have been doing, if you see, we had the elections in June. In June, Prime Minister Modi met Zelensky in Italy. In July, he met Putin in Moscow. In August, he met Zelensky again in Kiev. Then we engaged the Russians. NSA Doval went to Moscow. In September, Prime Minister met Zelensky again in New York. In October, he met Putin in Kazan. So what we've been trying to do is to have conversations in good faith with the understanding that common points or convergences in those conversations, if the other party was comfortable, we were prepared to share it with the other side. Now, it's not going to be easy. To the best of, there have been efforts by individual countries to work out individual problems. The Turks, for example, did the grain corridor. And some other countries did the POW exchange. So there have been occasions when individual problems have been addressed. But in terms of actually looking at the fundamental issue, the conflict, I don't think there are too many others. We have not put forward a peace plan. We don't think it's our business to do that. Our business is to try to find a way of bringing these two countries to a point where they are able to engage, because at the end of the day, they have to engage with each other. Others cannot solve the problem if they are not willing to solve it. And I must tell you, as we embarked on this exercise in the last few months, there was initially more skepticism. I think over a period of time, more and more countries, including Western countries, actually have told us, please keep at it. We see a use for it. And I draw your attention to the fact that Chancellor Scholz yesterday spoke to President Putin for the first time after the conflict began. So you can see what is the direction in which the world is moving. I think the world is, in a way, sort of exhausted. I mean, this conflict has exacted a huge price, obviously from the two protagonists, but
from everyone else
from
also.
everyone else as well. It is a time when there is a global demand for some kind of solution. And I think we would be stepping up to our responsibilities and the world's expectations by trying to do something.